Hello students, today we are going to see human digestive system as a part of nutrition. This video is being made in two parts, part 1 and part 2. Part 1 covers with respect to complete theory in the form of a flow chart, whereas part 2 explains with the help of a diagrammatical representation. For a complete information, please go through part 1 and part 2. Now let's begin the topic. Now, first let us understand what exactly is digestion. Digestion is nothing but breaking down of complex molecules into simple water-soluble molecules so that it can be absorbed into the body through digestive system. Let us understand what are the different steps that are involved, the organs, the glands and their secretions that are associated with the digestive system. And now, this digestion happens in 5 different steps, starting from ingestion, digestion, absorption, assimilation, and finally digestion. And the organs that are involved in this digestion are mouth, pharynx, esophagus, stomach, duodenum, small intestine, large intestine, rectum, and finally anus. Now, the glands and the different gastric juices that are involved in the digestive system are salivary glands, gastric glands, liver, pancreas, and finally intestinal glands. The juices that are secreted by these glands are salivary gland secretes saliva, gastric glands secretes gastric juice, liver secretes bile, which is stored in gallbladder. Pancreas secretes pancreatic juice. Finally, intestinal gland secretes intestinal juices. Now, let us see how all these organs, the glands and the juices involved in the digestion of the food that we take into our body. Alimentary canal is part of digestive system, which is about 9 meters in length, and it begins with mouth and ends with anus. Coming to the digestive system, let us get into the first step, that is ingestion. Ingestion happens through mouth. We take every food through mouth into our body. That is simply known as ingestion. Coming to the major part of digestive system, that is digestion, which is the second step. Digestion starts at mouth. It begins with mouth. Mouth is also known as buccal cavity. This buccal cavity consists of teeth, tongue and salivary glands. Teeth cuts the larger pieces of the food into smaller pieces. Salivary glands secretes the saliva and tongue mixes the smaller pieces with saliva and make into a lump which is slippery. This lump is known as bolus. The formation of bolus by cutting of teeth and mixing of saliva with tongue is known as mastication. Now, this slippery bolus will enter into esophagus through peristaltic movements. Now, the salivary glands is of 3 pairs. The first pair is submandibular because they are present at the side of jaws, both jaws. The second pair is sublingual, which is present below tongue. And the third pair is parotid glands, which are present at the side of ear. Here, we have discussed initially that digestion begins at mouth itself. How? This happens by saliva. Why? What is present in saliva? Saliva consists of an enzyme known as salivary amylase. Here, I want to stress a point known as ASC. Whatever the terminology that ends with an ASC is an enzyme. Every enzyme means it ends with a term ASC. So that is very important. Please keep this in mind. so that you will never forget. ASE. The function of this salivary amylase is that breaking down of complex carbohydrates or starch into simple sugars. Here we can say that digestion happens in two forms, that is physical digestion and chemical digestion. What is physical digestion? Physical digestion is also known as mechanical digestion. Physical digestion is nothing but the breaking down of the complex food by our teeth into smaller particles is known as physical digestion. And the peristaltic movements of our gut is also known as, comes under physical digestion. What are these peristaltic movements? Peristaltic movements are nothing but they are the simple contractions and relaxations of our gut. That is, especially when we swallow, the food go from our esophagus, that is food pipe, into our stomach. When we swallow it, we feel a particular movement here. That is nothing but a peristaltic movement. That is also a type of physical digestion. And coming to chemical digestion, what exactly is chemical digestion? Chemical digestion is nothing but the digestion which happens by the action of different enzymes is known as chemical digestion. Food now enters from esophagus or food pipe into the stomach through a sphincter known as gastroesophageal sphincter. The use of this sphincter is it prevents the reverse flow of food from the stomach into the buccal cavity. Coming to stomach. Stomach is present on the left side of the body and it is J-shaped structure. Here, food is churned for 3 hours in the stomach and gastric juices are produced in the stomach by 3 tubular glands. The gastric juice of the stomach consists of HCl, pepsin and mucus. Let us see the use of all these 3 different juices. First is HCl. The function of HCl is that it provides acidic medium so that the pepsin can digest proteins. The second important function is that it kills the bacteria that is present in the food, if any. Next is pepsin. Pepsin digests the complex protein molecules into smaller molecules. Then mucus. The function of the mucus is that it protects the stomach wall. The lining of the stomach is protected by the mucus. For example, if the mucus is eroded from the lining of the stomach, then it leads to ulcers. Ulcers are formed because of the erosion of mucus. The semi-solid food that is known as chyme present in the stomach now enters into small intestine through a sphincter known as pyloric sphincter. This pyloric sphincter is made up of a special ringed muscle which regulates the food to enter into small intestine. Small intestine is about 6.5 meters, which makes it the largest part of our digestive system. The proximal part of the small intestine is known as duodenum. Into duodenum, 2 glands open their secretions. They are liver and pancreas. Let us see what is the function of the juices of liver and pancreas here. Liver secretes bile which is stored in gallbladder. Bile is a greenish yellow liquid. The function of bile is that it makes the acidic chyme, that is the semi-solid food that came from stomach into small intestine, into alkaline, that is basic in nature. Bile salts emulsify fats. Emulsify is nothing but breaking down of the fats into small globule-like structures. This process of breaking down the fats into small globule-like structure is known as emulsification. Coming to pancreas. Pancreas secretes pancreatic juice. Here, the pancreatic juice consists of pancreatic amylase, trypsin and lipase. The function of pancreatic amylase is that to break down the starch, whereas the function of trypsin is that to break down proteins. Next is lipase. Lipase works on emulsified fats. Now let us enter into the last step of digestion, which happens in the small intestine. Here the walls of small intestine releases intestinal juices, which are also known as succus entericus. The function of these intestinal juices are that to convert the carbohydrates into glucose, proteins into amino acids, and fats into fatty acids and glycerol. And they will make them these complex molecules into small and water molecules, water soluble molecules, so that our body can absorb them into our bloodstream. So this is what with respect to step 2 digestion. Now let us enter into step 3, that is absorption. Now we are entering into the step 3 of digestive system, that is absorption. The food which is digested in step 2 became into small water soluble molecules. Now these water soluble molecules is absorbed by walls of small intestine. Here small intestine is actual site of absorption of whatever the food what we take. The reason is that small intestine consists of small finger-like projections known as villi. The function of this villi is they increase the surface area and they facilitate the absorption of the food into the bloodstream. Here the villi consists of blood capillaries. Let us see a rough diagram of villi here. This is the villi which is increasing the surface area. Wherever the food, this is the food molecule. Food molecules are present like this. The red line over here you can see this is a blood capillary. Now the food is absorbed from the villi into the blood capillary where blood is flowing through them. This is how the absorption takes place. Now let's enter into the step 4 of digestive system, that is assimilation. Assimilation is nothing but the food that is absorbed into the blood is transported to all parts of the body and is assimilated as a part of the cell. And cells utilize that assimilated food for the production of energy, growth of the body and repair of the body. Here energy is liberated by oxidation of the assimilated food through a process known as respiration. And the food that is not utilized by the body is converted into glycogen. Glycogen is nothing but it is known as animal fat and it is stored in liver. This glycogen is a complex carbohydrate compound and it will be utilized by the body for the future requirements whenever it is required. So this is what assimilation is. Now let us enter into the final step of human digestive system, that is step 5, digestion. Here the undigested food from small intestine enters into large intestine. In the large intestine the water is absorbed through finger-like projections known as villi. From here the undigested food enters into rectum. In the rectum the food is almost solid in nature, that is very thick paste-like structure due to complete absorption of water in the large intestine. From rectum, the undigested food is sent out through anus. This process is known as digestion or defecation. With this, we have seen what is digestive system in human beings as a part of nutrition. So students, with this we have seen what is digestive system with the help of a flowchart. In my part 2 video, I have explained digestive system with the diagrammatic illustration. Do watch part 1 and part 2 for complete information. For doubts and queries, you can contact the channel by posting in comment section or by the WhatsApp number that is provided, where the channel will revert you in 24 hours. Thank you students for watching the video and have a great day ahead.